The Super Bowl has been the most iconic trophy in American sports for over half a century. Ever since the Green Bay Packers beat the Kansas City Chiefs in the very first Super Bowl on January 15, 1967, legends have been made, hearts have been broken, and legacies have been cemented. Winning the Super Bowl is no easy task, as 13 NFL franchises have yet to win it all, with a handful of others winning just one as well. Any franchise that wins 3 or more titles within a rather short time frame earns dynasty status, and rightfully so. But when it comes to the greatest dynasties in football, there's no clear-cut number one choice among pundits. At Total Pro Sports, we think we solved the puzzle. I'm DeQuan Young, and today we rank all 5 of the Super Bowl dynasties. Number 5, the 1983 to 1992 Washington Redskins. Legendary head coach Joe Gibbs was the man in charge of Washington's dynasty. Behind the great Joe Theismann at quarterback, Washington beat the Miami Dolphins in Super Bowl 17 with a final score of 27-17. Unfortunately for Washington, their dynasty status was put on hold when Theismann suffered a broken leg in a 1985 game that ended his career. But Gibbs rode the arm of Doug Williams, who led the Redskins to a 41-10 victory over the Denver Broncos in Super Bowl 22. The 1991 Redskins may be the best Super Bowl winning team ever. Art Monk and Gary Clark each hit 1,000 receiving yards, while Ernest Biner picked up 1,048 yards on the ground. Quarterback Mark Rippon ran an offense that led the league with 485 points scored. They only allowed 224 points and cruised to a Super Bowl 26 victory over the Buffalo Bills, cementing them as a dynasty. Number 4, the 90s Dallas Cowboys. The Cowboys went through the 80s as a squad that failed to live up to the America's team label. But when new owner Jerry Jones took over, the Cowboys ruled the Wild Wild West and the rest of America. This Cowboys dynasty was loaded with stars. An underrated quarterback in Troy Aikman, a dominant receiver in Michael Irvin, and the all-time rushing leader in Emmitt Smith. Dallas won Super Bowls 27 and 28 over the Buffalo Bills in convincing fashion. They lost to the 49ers in the 1994 NFC Championship, but put a cherry on top of their dynasty the following season. Dallas faced off against their historic rivals, the Pittsburgh Steelers, in Super Bowl 30. Big D won the big game 27-17. 3 Super Bowls in 4 years at the height of the Buffalo Bills' rise and the 49ers' dominance? Quite impressive to say the least. Number 3, the 21st century New England Patriots. The Patriots were one of the most laughed at teams in the 90s, nearly moving away to Hartford in the 90s until owner Bob Kraft saved the day. He hired Bill Belichick as head coach, and the hooded genius drafted Tom Brady in the 6th round of the 2000 NFL Draft, and the rest was history. With a formidable defense that shut down every elite quarterback thrown its way, New England won Super Bowls 36, 38, and 39. Kicker Adam Vinatieri was nothing but money on every kick, and Brady wasn't fazed by pressure. New England then went 10 years without a title until Malcolm Butler saved their season by picking off Russell Wilson at the 1-yard line in Super Bowl 49. 2 years later, they pulled off the greatest comeback in Super Bowl history, beating the Atlanta Falcons to make it 5 titles in 17 seasons. Whew! Given how all this took place in the free agency era, it makes the dynasty that much more impressive. Why aren't they number 1? Well, 2 dynasties took far less time to win all their titles, and let's be honest, there hasn't been much parity in the AFC this century. Number 2, the 70s Pittsburgh Steelers. There was a time when the Steelers were never a good team and left plenty to be desired, but then head coach Chuck Noll was brought aboard and we were introduced to the most dominant defensive unit of all time. The Steelers were carried by the legendary Steel Curtain defense, led by star defensive tackle and Coke commercial star Joe Green, along with L.C. Greenwood, Ernie Holmes, and Dwight White. But quarterback Terry Bradshaw did his parts as well. So did star offensive weapons Franco Harris and Lynn Swann. Pittsburgh's dynasty began with a Super Bowl IX victory over the ultra-dominant Minnesota Vikings. They defended their title by taking down the Dallas Cowboys 21-17, and that defense didn't stop, helping the Steelers win Super Bowl 13 over the powerhouse Cowboys again, who were led by all-time great quarterback Roger Staubach. Pittsburgh then finished it off by beating the Los Angeles Rams to defend their championship. That was 4 Super Bowls in an era that featured the prominent Cowboys, Fran Tarkenton-led Vikings, and Don Shula-led Miami Dolphins. With so much parity, that makes this dynasty even more admirable. Number 1, the 1982 to 1990 San Francisco 49ers. We'll go as far as to say there was no difficult task in picking the 49ers as the top dynasty. 4 Super Bowls over a 9-year span, led by the GOAT Joe Montana. But the 49ers also had the GOAT wide receiver in Jerry Rice, Plus perhaps the GOAT corner/safety in Ronnie Lott. Being run by the great Bill Walsh did wonders also. Montana's 49ers had to get through a dominant Cowboys team, the dynasty of the Washington Redskins, and Lawrence Taylor's New York Giants. There was nothing easy in the NFC. The 49ers beat the Cincinnati Bengals in Super Bowl 16, then won their second title 3 years later over the Miami Dolphins. Montana created the most legendary drive of all time in Super Bowl 23 against the Cincinnati Bengals as his touchdown pass to John Taylor brought San Fran Super Bowl number 3. They then put the icing on the cake by crushing John Elway's Denver Broncos 55-10 to defend their championship. For good measure, Steve Young led San Francisco to a Super Bowl championship in 1995. But their first 4 titles came in 9 years with so many other juggernauts to get through. That makes these 49ers the greatest dynasty of all time. What did you think of our rankings for the NFL's greatest dynasty? Join us in the comments section below. If you liked this video and learned a thing or two, clicking the like button helps us out a ton and we truly appreciate it. If this is your first time coming around on Total Pro Sports though, subscribing is a great idea because we put out videos like this every single day. But as always, thanks for watching and we'll see you guys next time.